What roles do adult mentors play in Sherman Alexie's young adult literature? Sherman Alexie is an award-winning author who writes about being Indian in 21st century America. Many of his stories feature Indian teens who come from rough backgrounds, and in the 3 books I read for this project, adult mentors played integral roles in guiding those teens on paths to survival and success in the white world. Pulling from his childhood experiences on the Spokane Indian Reservation, Alexie unapologetically confronts issues such as racism, poverty, alcoholism, and abuse in his novels. You can't read Sherman Alexie without gaining a better understanding of and appreciation for the imperfect and cruel, yet also hopeful world we live in. For this project, I read The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, Flight, and War Dances. Adult mentors were essential in all 3 of these books, which is interesting since adults are largely absent in most young adult literature. These Indian teens had absent, alcoholic, or even dead parents, but thankfully other adults took them under their wings. The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian is a semi-biographical novel about Junior Spirit, a 14-year-old Spokane Indian who is sick of being a poor kid on a poor res where no one cares about his dreams. When his teacher, Mr. P, tells him that he deserves better, Junior chooses to leave his res and transfer to an all-white school 22 miles away. At Reardon, Junior is bullied, booed, and beaten up and considers dropping out until his basketball coach gives him much-needed confidence. He tells him that he's the best shooter he's ever worked with, spends quality time with him, and expects greatness from him. Junior explains that his coach and other players wanted him to be good, and they needed him to be good, and so he became good. The next novel I read was Flight, a gripping story about a 15-year-old boy who drinks, steals, does drugs, and frequently lands himself in juvie. Zitz has admittedly had a rough life. His alcoholic father left before he was born, his mother died of cancer when he was 6, and a family member sexually abused him for years. At this point, he isn't bound for success or even survival. Through all this, a police officer named Dave tries to help Zitz reroute his life before it's too late. Zitz unfortunately ignores this advice and almost commits a crime that would imprison him for decades. However, at the story's crux, he changes his mind and goes to Dave and pleads for his help to make things right. That moment changes Zitz's life forever. Dave helps him start fresh and even arranges for Zitz to live with his brother and his brother's family. There he is loved and says he feels happy for the first time in his life. He recognizes that Dave is trying to save him and is okay with it because he needs as many fathers as he can get. Lastly, War Dances is a short story collection about coming-of-age experiences. In Salt, a teenage intern at a newspaper bonds with Lois, a journalist who teaches him the ins and outs of writing obituaries. Weird, I know. When she unexpectedly dies, he still seeks her guidance, saying things like, "Lois, are you with me?" Even from the grave, she helps him succeed. In The Senator's Son, Alexie mixes things up by including a strong parental figure who mentors his son after he commits a hate crime. Feeling regret and grief, the son turns to his father for help and says, "Tell me what the right thing is. Please, Daddy, help me." This mentor helps his son make things right. Alexie may have included adult mentors in his stories because of the impact his adult mentors had on him. He grew up with an alcoholic father and a sometimes sober mother who worked odd jobs day and night to support her family. Although his family loved him, they didn't have the experiences or resources needed to guide him towards academic and economic success. Hoping to defy his family history of alcoholism and poverty, Alexie left the res and transferred to Reardon High School, where he found a support system of caring teachers and coaches who helped him become a first-generation college student. He began by attending Gonzaga University and then transferred to Washington State University, where he graduated with a creative writing degree. Alexie then became a mentor for Native American teens as he published young adult literature that inspires them to amount to greatness, and as a founding board member for Longhouse Media, a nonprofit that teaches Native American youth about filmmaking so they can preserve their cultural histories and stir social change. In February 2018, however, Alexie's stance as a role model for teens was questioned when several women came forward with Me Too allegations against him on social media. As a result, the American Indian Library Association rescinded Alexie's Best YA Book Award for True Diary. Despite this, he continues to impact teens through Longhouse Media and other means. So what roles do adult mentors play in Alexie's YA literature? They give Indian teens guidance, support, and most importantly, hope, thus empowering them to rise above their circumstances and dream bigger. This is best summarized by the quote on the screen, which is Junior's reaction when his coach tells him, "You can do it." Thank you.